Thank you very much, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. We will formally open this meeting of the Illinois Board of Review for today, March 26, 2024. Excuse me, as I previously noted, everyone has been muted for sake of efficiency and to eliminate potential of background noise interfering with the hearing. Just want to advise everyone that this is a formal hearing, so I'd ask that you would act and dress appropriately. Men, please remove your hats and caps and other headgear during the hearing. We ask that you refrain from smoking or eating during the hearing, that you not be reclined in your bed or in your night clothes or reclined in your easy chair. We want you to be focused on the hearing. It has potential impact on your property. And so we want you to get the best outcome possible, and we will be fair to everyone. The second thing that will happen is that the law department will give us a list of all matters that have been previously resolved and note any matters that have requests to the board for a continuance. Please note that if your address is called or your name and the result is listed as moot or moot complied, that means that you are done for today. Your hearing matter has been resolved. You may sign off. This is a public hearing, so in fact, if you want to remain, that's your choice. You may do that. If you need additional information as to the difference between moot and moot complied, please call the office. There's a phone number for the administrator that will be listed on your decision letter. Please use that as your reference. They will provide you any follow-up information that you may need. But for today's hearing, please do not interfere and break into an existing hearing because we have quite a few cases today and we have a really tight schedule. So we want to get through this list and give everyone who's listed today an opportunity to be heard. Thank you very much. We will now move on to the board itself will introduce itself, after which we will ask the law department to bring us a list of previously resolved matters. Again, I'm Kenneth Woodson, board chair.
Ralph Pincus, board member.
Roger S. Tennant, senior board member.
Ken Washington, board member.
Ryan McSherry, board counsel.
Richard Wade, board administrator.
That's Mr. Wade, board administrator. Okay, thank you very much. Who will be speaking on behalf of the law department today?
Good afternoon, board members. Jim Kelly on behalf of the city.
Afternoon, Mr. Kelly. What do you have for us?
So starting number 1 and number 4 are actually the same property with the same appellant, and those cases have both been resolved through the same agreement. So that agreement for numbers 1, which is HA 2022-003591, 5875 Torresdale Avenue, appellant Joe Smith, and number 4, which is 2023-160, 8575 Torresdale Avenue, appellant Joseph Smith. That's a city affirm with a stay of enforcement pending the decision of the zoning board on that property.
Okay, just before we move on though, stay of enforcement for 1 and 4 pending ZBA decision.
That's correct.
Okay. One other matter, the address on number 1 is 8575 Torresdale Avenue also?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right, thank you.
The next is number 2, 2022-4714, 916 South 48th Street, 916 South 48th Street, LLC. That's a city affirm with a 60-day stay of enforcement.
60-day stay, thank you.
Number 3, HA 2023-153, 4649 Oakland Street, Berliz de Jesus. That's a city affirm with a 6-month stay of enforcement agreement.
6-month stay, okay.
Number 4, we just discussed. Number 5, ending in 304, 400 West Stafford Street, Paul Malner. That was an appellant's advanced continuance request. That is appellant's second continuance request, so the city would be asking that it be marked as must be tried at the next listing.
Okay, the city is not opposed to the request for today?
Not for today, no.
Okay, so we will continue this matter with a must be tried requirement for any future requests,
Thank
any
you.
future hearings.
Number 6, ending in 374, 5937 Market Street, Hyun Young, doing business as Young's Place Inc. That is a agreement for a city affirm with a 60-day stay of enforcement.
That's a settlement in that matter. City affirm 60-day stay.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Number 7, ending in 1090, 212 Tomlinson Road, Eli Feldman, moot.
Moot, okay, thank you.
Number 8, ending in 1108, 1854 South 24th Street, Kevyan Gorbanian, that was withdrawn by the appellant.
Withdrawn, okay, thank you.
Number 9, ending in 1134, 6241 Reedland Street, Jarrell Jones. That's a city affirm with a 30-day stay of enforcement agreement.
30-day stay, okay, thank you.
Number 10, ending in 1137, 5516 Delancey Street, Richard Bailey, moot complied.
Thank you.
Number 11, ending in 1162, 3325 North 18th Street, La Mercy Blank, moot.
Moot, thank you.
Number 13, ending in 1210, 313 South 10th Street, Phi Alpha Sigma Fraternity. That's a appellant continuance request
Yeah.
that's unopposed by the city.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this we will note that it's continued.
Thank you. Number 14, ending in 1213, 4139 Parish Street, Tyrone Halliger. That's an agreement for a city affirm with a $500 fine.
City for $500 fine. Okay, thank you.
Number 16, ending in 1253, 6015 Catherine Street, Jessica Opoku, moot.
Moot, thank you.
Number 17, ending in 1265, 1418 Unrow Avenue, Key Lamb, moot.
Moot, thank you.
Number 18, ending in 1268 Spring Garden and Broad Street, Michael Debasai, moot.
Moot, thank you.
Number 19, ending in 1271, 5405 Torsdale Avenue, Jessica Joyce, that's moot.
Moot, thank you.
Number 21, ending in 1292, 3421 Spring Garden Street, Robert Redmond, that's moot complied.
Moot complied, thank you.
Number 22, ending in 1302, 4816 Woodland Avenue, Malachi Orgy, moot.
Moot, thank you.
Number 26, ending in 1314, 1249 North 60th Street, Gregory Willis, moot complied. And I just want to note that 25 is still going forward. There's 2 separate appeals. 26
Okay.
is moot complied, 25 will be going forward.
Okay, thank you.
Number 28, ending in 1323, 2036 South Cecil Street, Nash Properties LLC. That's an appellant's continuance request that's unopposed by the city.
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
if we go back to the Gregory Willis, was 25 moot complied and 26 is going forward? Or was
No,
that
20
reversed?
is the reverse. 26 is moot complied, 25 will move forward.
Thank you.
Yes. And number 28 is a appellant's request and the city is not opposed, so we'll note it as continued.
Number 29, 1365, 5029 Morris Street, Aji Wilson. That's the same thing, an appellant continuance request unopposed by the city.
Okay, alrighty. So we'll note that as continued as well.
Number 30, ending in 1368, 5605 Woodbine Avenue, Eileen Friedman, doing business as Hawk Housing LLC. That's moot.
Moot, thank you.
Number 32, ending in 1434, 4657 Mulberry Street, Karina Burns. That's a city affirm with a 180-day stay of enforcement agreement.
108-day stay, okay.
Number 33, ending in 1436, 4800-02 Ogle Street, Sanjeev Jain, moot complied.
Moot complied, thank you.
Number 37, ending in 1444, 3047 North Stillman Street, Kenneth Sears, it's moot.
Moot, thank you.
Number 38, ending in 1464, 6002 Master Street, Core Estates Group LLC. That's a continuance request by the appellant that's unopposed by the city.
Okay, just want to clarify something for the record. There was a cease operations noted on our file. Is that not in fact the case?
So my understanding is that it's a SVN for the cease, so it's just on the underlying fine.
Okay,
I can confirm,
please note
Amy
for the record,
Styles.
who's speaking, please?
I apologize, Amy Skiles on behalf of the city. This matter involved an SVN. This appeal is regarding an SVN related to cease operation violations. This appeal didn't actually concern the actual cease. There's no more cease. The cease on this property was lifted. There are no safety concerns. This matter is just the appeal of the SVN, and I believe we could reach a resolution on that matter.
Okay, so for today's record, we would note it as continued.
Thank you.
The next one that I have is number 391484, 1409 North Dover Street, Christy Berge. That's an agreement for a city affirm with a $500 fine.
$500 fine. Thank you.
And number 42, ending in 1536, 743 South 22nd Street, David Jaffe. That's been withdrawn by the appellant.
Withdrawn. Thank you.
And that is all that I have, although I do believe that at least two of my colleagues have items as well.
Okay, what I will
Mr.
ask
Chair,
is,
Mr. Chair?
yes,
Yeah, can I ask Mr. Kelly, what was the ruling on number 2, please? I'm
Number
not sure I got that.
2, for 916 South 48th Street. That's a agreement for a city affirm with a 60-day stay of enforcement.
60-day stay. Thank you.
Yep,
Pardon me, Mr.
absolutely.
Chair.
yeah, but as per our normal procedure, any other members of the law department have matters, preliminary matters, please note by raising the hand sign, and then we will respond to you. Mr. Leonard Rodder. You're muted, sir.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah.
Leonard F. Reuter for the city of Philadelphia. I'm just here because there's 3 cases. The first one would be number 12, HA 2023 001189 for 1716 Chestnut Street. Augusta O'Neill, attorney for the appellant, has requested a continuance. I believe she's here. The city doesn't have an objection to this continuance.
Okay, well, I'd ask, because the request we saw in executive session was because the client was not in the country. I would ask the attorney, particularly not just for this hearing, but future hearings, is it necessary for the client to be present? Mr. O'Neill, if you're present, please unmute
Good
and
afternoon, Mr. Chair.
my first, let me apologize, Augusta, I apologize, Miss
Happens all the
O'Neill. Okay,
My client would like to be present at the hearing. Unfortunately, he had made his plans. He's out of the country and he'd made those plans before we received the notice.
okay. I would advise you that going forward, though, if he has an extensive travel itinerary, that we may not be able to accommodate that. And if we'd ask you to proceed without him if need be.
Okay, I will take that back to my client, let him know that.
Okay. Okay, because we don't want to keep continuing this matter. That's not fair for him or the city in this instance. All right, thank you. So for today, we're noted as continued.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I have another one, number
Yes.
15 on the list, HA 2023-001245 for 261 South 13th Street, Sri Sai City Spruce LLC. They have also requested a continuance. Michael Phillips, representing the appellant, made that request. Again, the city doesn't have an objection.
Okay, we're noted as continued.
Okay, and then there's one more I just want to confirm. That is number 27, HA 2023-001320 for 1718 West Moyamensing Avenue. The appellant is Medidi Real Estate LLC. Their attorney sent in an email this morning indicating that they were withdrawing the appeal. I just want to confirm that the board
Yes.
received that.
We did receive it, noted as withdrawn.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Jeffrey Cohen.
Good afternoon, members of the board. I actually have matters numbers 43 through 51 involving 4200 Chester Avenue and attorney Michael Mattioni, who is here.
Okay, just before you proceed, Mr. Mattioni, if you're present,
Yes.
just put your name on the record, sir.
Sure, Michael Mattioni.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Cohen?
The parties had submitted a joint continuance request ahead of time. And I believe I followed that up by saying that the violations were marked complied, but they're not moot because we have litigation that we're also dealing with that involves those violations. We would just like the opportunity to be able to settle that litigation.
Okay,
Well,
so
that
we would,
litigation and these appeals. So
okay, the board is inclined to just note it for today as continued. I think that will satisfy your need to continue negotiations. Do you concur, Mr.
Thank you.
Mattioni?
Yes, I do. Mr.
Okay.
Chairman.
All right, Mr. Cohen, what I'll need you to do though, for the record, list each
of course,
appeal number and the address.
the address of all of the appeals is 4200 Chester Avenue. Number 43 is HA 2023 004971. Number 44, the same HA 2023 004972. Number 45 corresponds to 004973. 46 corresponds to 004974. 47 corresponds to 004975. 48 corresponds to 004976. 49 corresponds to 004977. 50 corresponds to 004978. And 51 corresponds to 004979.
Thank you very much.
Thank
All
you.
those matters are continued.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay,
Thank you, Mr. Mattioni. I do have
Thank
one
you,
more
Mr. Cohen.
matter.
yes,
Number 31, HA 2023 001387 for 5922 Alma Street. Attorney Douglas Stern and I had communicated with the board ahead of time via email. I don't know if Mr. Stern is here. Mr. Stern, if you could speak up if you're here.
okay. I don't see that name on our board, so he may not be present. So, Mr. Cohen, I know there's been a discussion, so would you put it on the record, please, what the conclusion that the agreement is?
Well, I don't want to put words in Mr. Stern's mouth. The city had emailed the board requesting a dismissal because the matter is untimely and there already was a petition to open hearing before the Court of Common Pleas that resolved the issues of timeliness or of whether the notice was received in the city's favor, which bears on the notice being untimely before this board.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's call it in regular order.
Well, I was
because-
going to say, Mr. Stern emailed this board to say that he agreed that the matter should be dismissed. I would rather put that email on the screen and have it read into the record than try to
okay.
interpret what he said for the board, if that's
Okay, okay, yeah, let's do that then. Can you share your screen now?
Of course.
Yeah.
Can the board see the email that I put on? the
Need it just a
screen?
bit larger. There you go.
Of
Thank you.
course.
We'll need you to read it for the record, please.
Of course. This is an email from Douglas Stern, Tuesday, March 19th, 2024 at 2:34 p.m. Mr. Stern says, I represent Trian Pham with regards to the above blur appeal, that appeal being number 31, ending 001387. I have discussed this matter with Mr. Cohen and agree it should be dismissed for the reasons stated in Mr. Cohen's email. I make the same request at the hearing. I believe he means that he will make the same request at the hearing. And he asks the board to please advise.
Okay. Now, Mr. Cohen, I guess the issue is whether we can take a unilateral action that way without the appellant being present and about his attorney being present. So without the present, I don't know if we can dismiss it for timeliness without either part, the attorney or the appellant. What is your thinking?
It's my understanding that if, let's say that this email wasn't sent and no one showed up to this hearing, the board would have the ability to call a vote and to decide on the hearing itself. If the board wants to do that in regular order, then that would
Yeah,
make
let's do it
sense.
in regular order because I'd like
Okay.
you to, if it's timeliness, put the details of timeliness, untimeliness
Of
on the
course.
record. Okay.
All
right,
right,
thank
thank you
you.
very much, members of the board.
All righty. So we will keep that one on our list and come back to it. Okay, does anyone else have anything for us? Okay, let me check my list. I may have a few things. I have Mr. Jim Kelly. Is that your hand being raised, Mr. Kelly? And maybe it's a mistake. You hit the keyboard by mistake.
I don't believe that I had my hand up. I don't have anything additional.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I think it was my cursor. Okay, just give me a moment. I want to check my list to see if there's anything open. Yes, we have a matter number 24, ending in 001306, 526 Ryder Street, Siobhan Long. Siobhan Long, who's representing that?
Yes.
madam?
Good afternoon. I'm
Yes.
I'm here. Thank
Okay,
you.
you
Good
Siobhan Long?
afternoon.
Ms.
Yes.
Giles?
Yes, good afternoon. Amy Skiles on behalf of the city for this matter.
Okay, we have a question of standing. So Ms. Long, I'd like you to raise your right hand so that you may be sworn. Before you even do that, ma'am, are you riding or traveling in a vehicle?
Yeah, I'm going to pull over so I can do that.
Yeah, we can't proceed until you're in a safe place.
Yep, I just pulled over.
Okay, would you raise your right hand so that you may be sworn? Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you give today be the truth so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. The issue is this, before we get to whether we hear this case or not, is the one of standing. Ms. Long, what is your relationship to this property?
I'm a tenant. I rent the property.
Is this a commercial property or residential?
No,
What kind of property?
it's a residential.
And you're the tenant?
Yes.
Okay, but and you're responding to the violation notice? Why is that?
My landlord told me to.
Are you responsible for maintenance of the property?
So yes, meaning like just the upkeep of the, is that what you mean? Or like building, not building maintenance, no.
Well,
Just the upkeeping of the yards, making sure the,
okay, let's do this. Ms. Giles, what is your view of this?
Yes, the city would have raised this objection as well. What is at issue today is an SVN, which is simply, an SVN that was issued like a ticket. That SVN was issued to the owner, Kathleen Abrams. I do have the deed. I don't know if the board would like to see it. Kathleen Abrams is the sole owner of the property. She is the sole person responsible for that SVN and for paying that SVN. So we would make the argument that Ms. Long does not have standing to challenge that SVN. She is not the aggrieved party of the SVN.
Yeah, Ms. Long, given what the city says that you don't have standing to bring the appeal, the owner should have done that. That's the owner's responsibility. Now, whatever the two of you worked out in terms of your responsibility to the property, that's outside of this board's authority.
I understand.
But in terms of that, this matter will be dismissed for lack of standing. Okay, so we
Okay.
will not hear this matter today, okay?
All right.
Have a good
you.
day. You're welcome.
You too. Bye-bye.
Just one moment. Item 36, 2001-441-2531 North Colorado Street, Harold Cost. Who's handling that matter?
Here. Good afternoon, members of the board. Mary Costello on behalf of the city of Philadelphia.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Harold Cost, we need to see your image. Yes. Okay. Mr. Cost, would you raise your right hand so that you may be sworn? And also, sir, are you traveling in a vehicle?
No, I'm sitting in my truck.
Okay. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth so help you God?
I do.
All right, thank you. The matter here is also a matter of timeliness. We have a Ms. Costello, there's an NOV we see schedule was written 3/17/22, and the appeal was not submitted until March 29th of 23.
Yes.
Mr. Cost, that's almost, you have a 30-day window to appeal a violation notice. Why does it take you so long to appeal?
City keeps the paperwork to the wrong address. They keep sending it to 323 West Milne Street, and I haven't lived there since I was a child.
Okay, wait a minute, back up a little bit. Because some of what you said got lost. I didn't hear it. So the question to you is that the NOV, the notice of violation, you received March 17th of 22. And on that, when you got that letter, why didn't you appeal within 30 days?
The city keeps sending the documents to the wrong address. They keep sending paperwork.
Wait a minute, I'm getting some additional noise in the background. It's creating confusion. Is someone else in your space that's speaking?
Not me, that's somebody else's mic.
I got it.
Okay, my apologies. Okay, Mr. Cost, when did you get this notice of violation?
The person that lives at 323 West Mill Street now brought me over a bunch of paperwork that
I asked the question, when did you receive it?
I don't remember.
Pardon me?
I don't have the date of when I got it, but the city keeps sending paperwork to the wrong address.
And you said that already. I'm asking you when you got it. When did you see it? When did you receive it?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Most likely that I wrote the appeal. I went downtown. So I'm assuming 3/29/23.
Sir, have you ever changed your address officially with the city?
All my ID or all my documents, credentials all say 22531 North Colorado.
Okay.
And I've
Okay, Ms. Costello, you have any response to that?
Yes, Chairman Whitson, two violation notices were sent out on March 17th of 2022. One was sent to the PO Box 50208, which Mr. Cost attached to his appeal, and then one was sent to the Milne Street address. And this is the address associated with the OPA account on the property. If Mr. Cost needs to update his address with LNI, and then the notices will be sent to wherever address he receives mail. But he has not done so.
Mr. Cost, is that PO box yours?
years ago.
You don't still
And I
own
don't
it?
Appeal though, it's on. I
No,
put
no, I'm
25.
asking you a question. Now, respond to my question. Is the PO box noted yours?
I said years ago. It's no like that was terminated maybe 3-4 years ago.
Okay. The second question, that address, do you own that address? Milne Street?
No,
What is your association with that address?
my mother's house years ago.
Who owns it now?
I don't know who she sold it to.
Your mother sold it.
Yeah.
And Ms. Costello, your records indicate that the address still shows Mr. Cost associated with that address?
Well, the OPA account address for the Office of Property Records, which is what LNI uses to send every notice, is still that Milne Street address for this property. So when he purchased this property, if he wanted to receive mail at this property at 2531 North Colorado Street, he needs to update the OPA account address
Okay.
to what 531 North Colorado Street. And then in this appeal that he filed, the violation notice that's attached was the one that went to PO Box 50208. So he must receive mail at that PO box because that is the violation notice he attached to the appeal.
Okay. Mr. Cost, what is your, do you live, let me ask it a different way. Do you live at the North Colorado Street property?
Right.
I didn't hear the answer.
Yes, I live there.
But that's your residence?
Yeah.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
could Ms. Costello read the date of the appeal that the PO box was attached to by Mr. Cost again?
Okay.
Because he stated 3 or 4 years ago, he no longer has that PO box. It's been 3 or 4 years since then. So I'm just trying to get the date the appeal was filed with the PO box attached to it.
Okay. Ms. Costello?
So the appeal that was filed with the board, that appeal is dated 3/29/23, and attached to that appeal is the violation notice that's appealed, and that violation notice was sent to the PO box. The date of that violation notice is 3/17/2022.
Okay. So, Mr. Cost, did you have that PO box 31722?
No, I did not. I'm looking at the appeal paperwork that I submitted to the Municipal Service Building, and it says 2531 on it.
Sir,
Mr.
hold on, we can't make any sense of that. We can't see it.
Oh,
So, Mr.
What date
Chair,
is that
I'm-
you're referencing? What date are you referencing, sir?
it says received, March 29th, 2023.
That's received by the city, yes. The issue is when you received it. And the date of that, when it was mailed, that upper right-hand corner, there's a date when it was mailed. And how did you get it if it was sent to your PO box?
I got it from the gentleman that owns 323 West Milne Street, and that would have been on the 29th. I saw
Okay,
the-
but the testimony of the city is that that particular piece of mail was sent to your PO box.
I
It's
don't get
sent to
anything
both.
from that PO box. I would assume it was sent back.
Okay.
So
Uh,
I guess my question then, Chairman Woodson, is in the appeal that the board accepted, that's stamped, received March 29th of 2023, the violation notice attached to that appeal that was submitted by Mr. Cost is the violation notice that went to the PO box. And
Okay.
so the board does have it. It's been stamped by the board. So
Okay.
he must have
So
received it.
I think the difference is Mr. Cost's contention is that he never received any mail from the post office box, and it must have come from mail that was submitted to the Milne Street address. That's his view, and your
But
view
Mr.
is very
Chair.
different. Yes.
Mr. Chair, I thought I heard Mr. Cost testify that he hasn't had that PO box for about 3 or 4 years
Yes.
now. And March 29th, 23 is just under a year ago, and he attached the PO box number to his appeal, which means he gave us a PO box and now for use, and now he's saying that he hasn't had it 3 or 4 years.
Okay. Is that in fact the case, Mr. Cost? You noted that PO box on your appeal application?
No, I didn't. I wouldn't have wrote it on there. I would have wrote 2531 North Colorado Street, which is what I'm looking at now.
Okay,
2531.
let's do this. Ms. Costello, I promise this will be over shortly. Ms. Costello, would you share your screen, please, and put up the appeal? Can you do that?
Sure. I don't have, let me find the appeal.
Mr. Cost, we're taking these extra steps because if in fact we could dismiss this for timeliness, and I just want to be clear, if we do that, that we're being fair to you. So I just am asking the city to do that.
One
Understood.
second.
If Ms. Costello, if you don't have it, Mr. Wade may have it handy. Mr. Wade, if you could check your record quickly.
I'm sorry, what am I looking for?
Looking for the appeal application from Mr. Cost. We need to determine if in fact he noted PO box was his address to be used, his official address. I think, Mr. Tennant, that was your statement, correct?
That's correct,
Well-
Mr. Chair. According to Mr. Cost's testimony, and Ms. Costello mentioned that it was on there. Yes.
Okay, I just want to confirm that, Ms. Costello.
Yeah, so it's just that is what he attached. That's the violation notice he attached.
Okay, but
So
I'm
yes,
asking it
Mr. Day,
in
yeah.
terms of his return address that he used when he made his application. I just want to
25.
confirm.
2531 North Colorado, and all correspondence with the board and Mr. Cost have been sent to 2531 North Colorado.
Okay,
But then I guess my question is, if he doesn't receive mail at that PO box, how does he have the violation notice that was sent to that PO box to attach it to his appeal?
okay, but it was also sent to 2531 North Colorado Street, correct? And Mr. Cost, that's your current address, correct?
I didn't receive it at 2531, but yes, that's my current address.
Okay, Mr. Wade, just one quick thing as a board administrator, what date was that address, that mail that was sent to North Colorado Street address? What was the date of that correspondence?
Your correspondence was the hearing notice that was sent on January 30th, 2024.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, let's do this.
I see the confusion. I know what she's saying. The packet that's attached to the paperwork that I filled out for the appeal state the PO box. That's what L&I printed out when I made the appeal. When
Okay.
I went to the municipal first building and filled out for the appeal, they printed out a packet of stating what the violations were, and they stapled it together. But that's whatever they printed out. I didn't write the PO box on there. This is a printout from L&I.
Okay, and you purchased the Colorado Street as your personal residence?
Correct.
And when you did that, which address were you using? Was it the Milne Street address or Colorado Street address when you made your transaction?
When I purchased it, it was the Mill Street address, about 6 years ago.
And how long have you owned this property, Colorado Street?
6 years.
Okay, you never changed it. That's why that happened. Okay, all right, Ms. Costello, I think I have a sense of what we're going to do here. We're going to hear this matter, although it's an extended time of it's well beyond the normal. I'm going to hear this matter anyway today. Okay, we'll call it in regular order. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, you may, of course, as you can, make that a standing objection, but we're going to hear this. Okay, for the day. And I guess that completes the preliminary matters
Chair-
that we will.
Chairman Woodson, I do have one additional matter I'd
Yes.
like to address with the board. Number 23, HA 2023-001305. That is a continuance request on behalf of the city.
Okay, is the appellant present? Debbie Yoon Han.
They are on the call.
Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
hi, that's us.
Okay, Ms. Costello, would you put on the record why you want the continuance request?
Because I believe that we can come to a resolution in this matter.
Okay, so do you have any plans to immediate contact with the Han?
I will call them immediately and
Okay.
perhaps can resolve this today.
Okay, would it be appropriate for you to be in a breakout room with the appellant?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Han, which person is that? There are two people. I just need which.
Me.
Okay, ma'am, the city would like to talk to you in a breakout room as a potential way of resolving this matter before we start a hearing. Are you available for that?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Wade, can you give Ms. Costello and Ms. Han a breakout room, please?
They both have it.
Okay, please
Room
note,
three.
breakout room 3. Thank you. Okay, all right, thank you very much. Let's go back. Mr. Wade, so what is our rank order for calling cases today?
I have yet to have anyone reach out.
Okay, let's go to
we get a
number,
case. 20 is the next on the list.
okay, but let's do this. Let's go to 30. The 5605 Woodbine, no, my
That's
apologies.
31.
31?
Yes.
Let's go to 31.
Case 31, hearing appeal ending 1387, 5922 Alma Street, Trien Farm.
Okay, I think Mr. Cohen was handling that. $5922 Alma Street. Okay,
I apologize, members of the board. I will be right with you.
okay,
Sorry, I was not expecting this case to be the first up on the list.
yeah, I
If
just
I
want to
could-
get cleared out if you can, unless you
Yes.
want to wait.
Oh, no, I'm ready to proceed right now.
Okay, and the attorney representing the appellant is Douglas Stern. Is Mr. Douglas Stern available? Okay, Mr. Douglas Stern is not available. And Mr. Cohen, based on our previous communication, you noted and you put up on the record, you put in the record a email from Mr. Stern indicating that he would agree this matter should be dismissed for lack of a timely appeal.
And I can give the board a brief explanation of why.
Yes, please.
If you'll permit me to share on my screen. One moment. All right, is the board able to see the exhibits packet that I'm currently sharing? This is
Yes.
the exhibits packet for today. And I'll just jump right to the blur appeal on page 15. So this was filed by Mr. Stern, March 22nd, stamped received by the board on March 22nd. But that obviously is very far and away, over a year far and away from the date of the notice of violation, which was sent out on November 20th of 2021.
Yes.
And the attached notice of violation was sent to an address 7807 Berwyn Road in Cheltenham, Pennsylvania. We actually litigated this issue in a petition to open before the Court of Common Pleas, and if you'll allow me to jump
Yes.
to the Court of Common Pleas packet, I'll show you why. This was the Court of Common Pleas exhibits packet. I'll just make it larger here. So this was already entered and is part of the record in our litigation. Several of the exhibits that we entered before the Court of Common Pleas dealt with the use of that 7807 Berwyn Road address, not just around the date November 20th of 2021 when the NOV was sent, but actually after that date. And I'll just jump to that rental license on page 21. The highlighting in this document is the cities. It is not in the original. FAM Management LLC, which is a corporate entity associated with Mr. FAM, obtained a rental license for this property, 5922 Alma Street. The rental license was dated the month after the NOV was issued, and it is still using this 7807 Berwyn Road address.
Okay.
So that's how the city, for the purposes of the Court of Common Pleas hearing, established their consistent and recent use when the NOV was issued of 7807 Berwyn Road. And for this board's purposes, that means that an appeal filed over a year later,
Yes.
after the NOV was sent to 7807 Berwyn, would be untimely.
Okay. Thank you.
And I'll stop sharing my screen.
Okay, just want to, Mr. McSherry, just want to get you to weigh in on this matter from a matter, given the representations that have been made and the documents put on the record, would you advise that we proceed with a decision based on timeliness?
Yes, I do believe that would be appropriate, specifically the fact that email from appellant's counsel that was put on the screen indicating that appellant's counsel agrees with the reasons stated in Mr. Cohen's email regarding why this matter should be dismissed.
Okay, thank you. Based on that advice and our reading of the record, this matter has been dismissed for lack of a timely appeal. Thank you very much. Mr. Cohen, does
Thank
that
you very
satisfy
much,
your
members
needs?
of the board. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, members of the board.
Okay, thank you. All righty. Mr. Wade, what do we have next?
Case number 20,
Okay,
hearing appeal ending 1283. 646 South Street, Abir Kashani.
Hello? Yes, hi.
okay. Who's representing the city?
Good afternoon, Amy Skiles on behalf of the City of Philadelphia.
Good afternoon. Abir Kashani, sir, would you raise your right hand so that you may be sworn? Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you give be the truth so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay, sir, before we begin, I just need to understand, what is your relationship to 646 South Street?
That's my building.
You own the building?
Yes,
Is it in your name alone?
yes.
Okay, there's no corporate ownership or LLC or
No.
anything like that?
No.
Okay, all right, thank you. Ms. Skiles, do you have a witness for today?
I do, but as a preliminary matter, I also have a timeliness argument to this appeal.
Okay,
The NOV, I apologize, give me a brief minute. The NOV was issued January 11th of 2023. The deadline for appeal, as stated on the NOV, was February 23rd, 2023. And this appeal was not filed with the board until March 20th of 2023. So this was over a month delayed filing this appeal. So we would be asking to dismiss the appeal based on untimeliness.
okay. Mr. Kashani, why did you not meet the deadline for filing the appeal?
Because we didn't understand the violation. Now we understand that the gate is the problem. This is a store. This is a retail store. And we
Okay.
sell very expensive items. Very, very expensive items.
Okay,
And
but the issue with though is why did you, it's very clear that there is a deadline for filing an appeal. So the question is, why did you not file the appeal in a timely fashion?
I didn't know about the time on that. That I can answer.
Did you
because
receive the letter? the
I
violation
received
notice?
everything. I had everything. I called the
Okay.
city.
No, sir. You're getting ahead of me. You have to just answer the question that I asked.
Sure.
If you received the violation notice and you read the violation notice, you note where it said you have 30 days to appeal, and they give you a date by which you must submit your appeal.
We called and we went in person.
I went in person.
That is not the question I asked you. Did you note on the letter the date which is there
No,
that states the
I
date of the appeal?
I
Okay.
didn't note that. I didn't.
Okay. Okay.
And maybe
All right.
it was there, but I didn't pay.
Oh, it was there. It was clearly there.
My fault. It's my fault. I
Yes.
apologize for that.
Okay. So the issue is the city's asking us to dismiss this was untimeliness. It wasn't a timely appeal. Ms. Skiles, anything else you want to offer?
Not on the matter of timeliness.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Just one quick thing. I'd like the board to, Ms. Skiles, I'm going to take the board in executive session for a moment. And we're going to go off the record and ask the board to join me with Mr. McSherry in the breakout room. Mr. Wade?
You should have it at the bottom.
Thank you. Back on the record.
Meeting is being recorded.
Okay, Mr. Kelly, if you're available for us, just give me the thumbs up. Back on. Thank you. Okay, regarding this matter at HA 2023-001-283, 646 South Street, Abir Kashani, based on the record, this matter will be dismissed for lack of timely appeal. Mr. Kashani, you did not meet the standards requested in the appeal notice. Call to the board's administration and they will give you the information you will need to appeal a decision. Okay, you understand, sir?
I don't understand the violation.
Well, you need to call the board's administration. It's pretty clear on the violation notice. It says a gate was constructed without a permit. You need
But
a
the
construction
gate-
permit.
It's been there since 1998. The same.
It may have
gate.
been. We're not going to argue the facts of the case today. You didn't
So-
submit your appeal in a timely fashion, so we won't hear it.
What number do we have to call? What is the board number?
You will receive, I'm not sure who that's speaking in the background. That person cannot
My
speak on the
son.
record. We're being recorded, so we can't speak on the record. What we will do, you will receive a notice of the decision in the mail, and on that notice will be a phone number. You can call that phone number and ask them how to appeal a decision of the board. They will give you that information. Okay, have a good afternoon, sir.
Mr. Chair, may I just add that the original violation notice was dated January 10, 2023, and that's the notice that gave him 30 days to file his appeal, and that appeal was not noted as being received by the department until March 20th, which is considerably more than 30 days after the original notice where the requirements were spelled out.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. Okay, let's move on to our next matter.
I don't know if counsel for the city is prepared to move forward on case 23. They were in the breakout room, but they're back.
Okay, alrighty. That's Ms. Costello. Do you have a resolution to share with us?
Yes, Chairman Whitson, a 30-day stay of enforcement, and I will be able to get that agreement to the board this week.
Okay, is he, Han, please unmute. Just want you to indicate whether or not you agree with the city lawyer said.
Yes.
And we didn't hear you.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, okay, thank you very much. Okay, this is a settlement agreement between the appellant and the city, and it's just stated one more time, Ms. Costello, so we can hear it.
It's a 30-day stay of enforcement agreement.
Okay. City affirm?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. You will note it in the record. Okay, Mr. Wade,
Thank you so much.
you're welcome. Have a good afternoon.
Have a good day. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Case number 25, hearing appeal ending 1313.
Okay, please, yeah, thank you.
Case number 25, hearing appeal ending 1313, 1249 North 60th Street, Gregory Willis.
Okay, who's handling that matter?
Good afternoon, members of the board. Jim Kelly on behalf of the city.
Good afternoon, Mr. Kelly. Is Gregory Willis present?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Willis, two things. If you remove your hat, sir, you're in court. And the second thing, if you raise your right hand to be sworn.
Well, I have to wear my hat, sir. It's a
Oh, is it-
crown. It's a crown. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
religious reasons. Okay, all right.
Thank you, sir.
Raise your right hand for so that you be sworn. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Place your hand down. Okay, Mr. Kelly, what do we have today?
Yeah, so I'll be calling Inspector Faulkner, Sean Faulkner.
Okay, is Mr. Faulkner present?
I see him on there. There we go.
Okay, Mr. Faulkner, if you unmute yourself, raise your right hand so that you may be sworn. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. You can place your hand down. Okay, Mr. Kelly, what do we have?
Thank you. So today's hearing is for a site violation notice, and I'll get into this with Inspector Faulkner, but just briefly, it's a site violation notice that was issued to the property at 1249 North 60th Street, which Mr. Willis is the owner of.
Okay.
Inspector Faulkner, can you state your name for the record, please?
Inspector Sean Faulkner,
And where are you currently employed?
2401 Walnut Street, Philadelphia, PA.
Are you employed with the Department of License and
Oh,
Inspection?
excuse me, yes, the City of Philadelphia Licenses and Inspections.
Okay, and what's your position within the department?
Code Enforcement Officer.
All right, and what are your primary duties and responsibilities there?
Following the Philadelphia Charter, writing codes, trying to get the codes to come into compliance.
In your job duties, did you become familiar with the property at 1249 North 60th Street?
Sir,
And have you also reviewed the LNI case file for that property?
yes, sir.
Okay, I would ask to share my screen and display what I've sent in as City's Exhibit 1.
Yes. We'll need you to magnify it just a bit,
Yep.
though.
Absolutely. Can you see what's on the screen now?
Yes.
Okay. Inspector Faulkner, do you recognize this document?
Yes, the site
And-
notice violation.
Okay, and what property, I can scroll down, what property was it issued to?
1249 North 60th Street,
And when was it issued?
February 21st, 2023.
Okay, and I'll scroll down a little further. What I'm sorry, what violation was cited here?
There was exterior sanitation, there was trash, construction debris on the porch at time of inspection.
Okay, and is this a violation that you observed personally?
Yes,
So you were out at the property that day?
yes,
Okay. And when you wrote the site violation notice, are those written for a moment in time? Meaning that they can't be, can site violation notices be complied by later action? Okay.
We didn't hear the response.
no,
All right, thank you.
Okay, so as part of your inspection that day at 1249 North 60th Street, did you also take photographs?
I did.
Okay, so I'll turn the board's attention to City's Exhibit 2, which is on page 3, I believe, of the PDF packet. So looking at the two properties here, did you take this photograph yourself?
Yes,
Okay, and which property are we looking? It's the one on the left, is that correct?
the one on the left, 1249.
Okay, what violations are present, if any, in this photograph?
Exterior sanitation on porch.
Okay, and what specifically, what are we looking at there?
Looking at the bags of construction debris.
Okay. And is that a violation of the Philadelphia Code?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and I'm scrolling down to the next photograph, which is Exhibit 2, Photograph 2. Is this a close-up image of those same items?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and does this also present a violation of the Philadelphia Code?
Yes.
What kind of items are we looking at there, just for the record?
Trash, looks like wood, sheetrock, pieces of a cabinet.
Okay, are those items that the city's, I mean, let me start over. Would the city's trash pickup come up onto your porch to begin with?
No,
Okay, and even if they did for some reason, would they pick up items like this? Okay.
We didn't hear the response. I didn't hear the response.
No,
No, thank you.
When you were at the property, were you able to speak with anybody who was there?
at the time of that day, I was just there. The tenant of the time had called for some interior violations. I noticed the trash on the porch upon entering the property.
Okay, and are those interior violations, is that the separate case that was complied?
Yes,
Okay. So as a result of the buildup of trash that you saw here, did you write the site violation notice?
yes.
Okay, that's all that I have for now. I would just ask that cities exhibits 1 and 2 be admitted into evidence.
So admitted. Mr. Willis, do you have any cross-examination questions for the inspector?
Yeah, well, there was 2 violations that were there, and obviously one of the tenants the tenant had called because of the violation.
Okay, Mr. Willis, I just need to know if you have any questions for Mr. Faulkner. If you don't, that's okay.
Yes. How come he wasn't available for me to communicate with him, except for a year later after I finally got in contact with him and left a message, and this when he called me.
Okay, wait,
and he
Mr. Willis.
addressed the violations.
Mr. Willis, I think you're understanding. Cross-examination in a situation like this means questions that you may have for the witness based on the witness testimony. And so all the things he just said, do you have any questions that were generated by that testimony? Yes. Do you have any questions of the witness, Mr. Faulkner, based on Mr. Faulkner's testimony?
Yeah, I was wondering, how come he wasn't available when it was time for me to address the issue.
I'm not sure he had any testimony about that.
Oh, okay. Well, I was renovating the property.
Okay, so let's do this. Why don't we do this? Just 1 second. Mr. Kelly, do you have any additional witnesses?
No, that's all that the city has.
Okay, Mr. Willis, why don't you share with us your understanding of what happened here and why you have this violation?
Yes, sir. Well, I was renovating the property, 2 apartments. One of them was where it was satisfied about a couple weeks ago after a year has passed. That's when I finally got in contact with Mr. Faulkner. That's when he finally called me because he knew I was going to have this hearing. So he contacted me, and I was renovating 2 properties. Me and the contractor, he's been working for me for years. We always had an agreement that by the end of the day, there'd be nothing left on the porch. Now, these photos were taken around 12 o'clock noon or somewhere around in that area. So he had put things out on the porch, but at the end of the day, he's always cleared the porch out. This was our understanding for years. And there was an apartment next to where Mr. Faulkner went for this violation, and he should have seen that it was being renovated.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, every single day, sir, every single day, at the end of the day, Mr. Ellis and his brother, they will always clear the porch off because that was our agreement, and that's what we had for years. This is nothing new for our relationship.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Anything else? You have any witnesses, Mr. Willis, or anything?
I have a question for Mr. Willis.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
You said you had an agreement. Do you know if in fact the debris that was shown in these pictures was removed at the end of that day?
Certainly.
Was the answer yes?
Yes.
Thank you.
I have a question, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Willis,
Yes.
the pictures that you saw up on the screen, are those true and correct representation of what was on your porch
Yes.
at that time?
Yes.
No more questions, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Willis, one of the things that you have to appreciate in this, you received the SVN, which is a site violation, which is if it's accurately represents what was the condition at the time, that's what generates the violation notice. And it probably should have said that in the paperwork you received. The agreement that you have with your contractor isn't relevant to that. Maybe he should have had a a canister or some other receptacle available for you as his customer to put the trash in and not on the porch.
No,
That may, well, I'm talking about what the code requires, not what kind of agreement you and the two of you have.
okay,
Your agreement with him is irrelevant to the code if he isn't meeting the requirements of the code. And as a contractor, he knows what that is or should know what that is.
right.
Okay, Mr. Kelly, you have anything else?
Just briefly, the city is seeking a city affirm today, based upon Inspector Faulkner's testimony and the photographs that were shown. As has been discussed, site violation notices function as snapshots in time, like for fines, meaning that they can't be complied by any later action. And regardless of whatever action may or may not have been taken after the fact, I mean, we don't have any photographic evidence that they were removed. I believe that the photographs speak for themselves. This is a clear violation of the Philadelphia Code. And as a result, we're seeking a city affirm.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Willis, do you have anything before we vote? Anything you want to add?
Oh, yes, sir. Well,
Mr.
actually, this guy.
Hold
was
on a
being-
moment. Hold
this
on,
guy
Mr.
Wait,
had-
wait. Just
Hold
a
on a
second.
minute, please.
Yeah.
There's Mr. Faulkner. Could you mute your,
Your background is, yeah, distracting.
thank you. Go ahead, Miss. I'm sorry, Mr. Willis. There was too much noise and we couldn't hear you.
All right, thank you. Yes, sir. This guy was being evicted. That Mr. Faulkner went and cited the violations. He's no longer there. And I've been trying to call Mr. Faulkner for over a year and he never returned my calls. To speak on this issue, because I never got a violation before, I never got a violation after, and I know that it was there during that particular time, but he always loaded everything on his truck at the end of the day, him and his brother, and it was never nothing left on the porch after that day. He, both the apartment that this guy lived in was renovated, and the one next to him was being renovated. So this guy had to evict because this guy was nothing but a scamster. You know what I mean? He didn't pay his rent and all that. So he got pissed off, and that's why he called L&I. That's the only reason why he called him as retaliation. But he's not there anymore. And I know that the stuff was there, but trust me, sir, every single day that was no trash left on that porch.
Okay. And Mr. Willis, before we vote, I just want to say this is that we will accept what you said and given the circumstances. The problem that you have is that the inspector happened to be at your location to see a condition that's in violation of the code. What that also would suggest the contractor with whom you've been working for these many years will have to change his practice because if he does what he did for you with other customers or for you again, and an inspector happens to show up for whatever reason, he will very likely get another violation notice, either he and or you as the property owner or his customer. So he has to come up with a different way to do things. And so stacking construction debris on the porch is a code violation. And he needs to remind him of that if you can have him do more work for you. Okay. And our responsibility here is to determine whether L&I acted responsibly and fairly in writing a violation based on the conditions that were seen by the inspector. And Mr. Faulkner is the inspector who saw it and he witnessed it and he wrote the violation. We will now call the vote on HA-2023-001313 1249 North 60th Street, Gregory Willis, City affirmed.
City affirmed.
City affirm.
City affirm.
Okay, Mr. Willis, the vote is city affirmed, which means that you've lost your appeal. You may appeal our decision. If you need information as to how you should do that, check with the administrator's office, and there'll be a phone number on the letter, the decision that you receive from us. You can call and find out. They will tell you how to appeal the decision of the board. Thank you very much, sir, for your participation and patience. Have a good day.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Wade, let's move on. The witnesses in this matter are excused.
Brings us to case 34 and 35. Case number 34, hearing appeal ending 1439, 127 East Cumberland Street, MK Allure LLC. Case number 35, hearing appeal ending 1440, 127 East Cumberland Street, MK Allure LLC.
Okay, who's representing the city in this matter?
Good afternoon, members of the board and Chairman Woodson. Mary Costello on behalf of the city of Philadelphia.
Good afternoon. And the appellant, who's representing the appellant? MK Allure LLC. Anyone present? Ms. Costello, have you had any conversations with anyone?
I had a conversation with Sean Whalen. He was an attorney that has withdrawn his appearance. He was representing them at one point, but I believe he emailed the board as well and said that he's no longer representing them.
Okay.
But they were aware of their hearing today. He told me that. I don't know if they have had any contact with the board, but they have not had any contact with me.
Okay. Mr. Wade, what does your records indicate regarding service?
Service was made to both MK Allure at 14 Dare Lane in Washington Township, as well as Sean Whalen.
Okay, thank you.
On both matters.
Given that, Ms. Costello, what is your preference?
I would ask for a city affirm for failure to appear.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Pincus, what time do you have?
2:03 PM.
2:03 PM. We will call the vote on HA-2023-001439-127 East Cumberland Street, MK Allure LLC, city affirmed non-appearance.
City affirmed for non-appearance.
City affirmed for non-appearance.
City affirmed non-appearance.
Thank you. Okay,
Mr. Chair, was that 2:03?
that was 2:03.
So, thank you.
Okay. We will now call the vote on HA 2023-001440, 127 East Cumberland Street, MK Allure LLC. Mr. Pincus, what time do you have?
2:04 PM.
2:04 PM. Call on the vote, city affirmed non-appearance.
City affirmed non-appearance.
City affirmed non-appearance.
City affirmed non-appearance.
Thank you very much. Ms. Costello, I think that resolves that matter.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's move on to our next case.
Ms. Costello, is your witness available for case number 36?
I believe I believe he's on the call. Inspector Gonzalez, are you available?
Yes.
Okay, he is, yes.
Case number 36, hearing appeal ending 1441, 2531 North Colorado Street, Harold Cost.
Okay, Mr. Cost, we need you to make your image available.
Hello.
Okay, Mr. Cost, again, are you stationary in a park place?
Parking right now. Done.
Okay. Mr. Cost, raise your right hand so that you may be sworn. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth so help you God?
I do.
All right, thank you. Ms. Costello, your witness is Mr. Gonzalez.
Yes.
It is,
Mr.
yes.
Gonzalez, would you raise your right hand so that you may be, do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth so help you God?
I do.
All right, thank you. All right. Ms. Costello?
Chairman Whitson, members of the board, this is actually an unusual one because this violation notice was written for 1, 2, 3, 4 violations to the property. 4 of the 5 violations have been complied, and we were really working on being able to comply the 5th and final violation, which I have Inspector Gonzalez here to testify about, and it's simply a vacant property license. So the case that we're presenting today does not address the 4 other property maintenance violations. I have photographs that Inspector Gonzalez has taken that can show that all of those violations have in fact been complied. It's just the vacant property license.
Okay.
And so
Alrighty.
I would call Inspector Gonzalez as my first witness to testify. Inspector Gonzalez, can you please state your name for the record?
Gerardo
Before-
Gonzalez.
Before we proceed,
Yes.
I think there's background noise coming perhaps from Inspector Gonzalez's office. We understand you're in LNI and there's a lot of things going on, but is there some way you can either relocate yourself or have those colleagues be quieter?
Yeah, let me see if I could
Mr. Gonzalez, also, the court reporter is having problems with trying to capture the conversations.
There we go.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Okay, Ms. Costello, I think that gets us where we need to be.
Okay. Inspector Gonzalez, can you please state your full name for the record?
Gerardo Gonzalez.
And what is your position with LNI?
I'm an code enforcement inspector,
And how long have you held that position?
30 years.
Okay. And what are your duties as a code enforcement inspector?
Right now I deal with vacant properties. I also do businesses, vending, food carts and stuff like that.
Okay. And so you go to properties where you've received complaints and then investigate those complaints? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And as part of your duties as an inspector, are you familiar with the Eclipse system?
Yes.
Okay. And how so? Can you explain a little bit about what the Eclipse system is?
It's the system where we write, track and compile the cases and the properties and whatever information we have, we put it into the Eclipse system.
Okay, so it's essentially the records keeping system for the Department of Licenses and Inspections. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. In the normal course of business, are notices of violation kept within the Eclipse system?
Yes.
Okay. Permission to share my screen, Chairman
Yes.
Woodson? Okay. Second. And are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Can you please identify what's been marked as City Exhibit B?
You need to make it a little larger, Ms. Costello.
Is that better?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay.
And actually shrink it just a little bit so we can see the full text.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
There we go. Is that better? Are you able to see that, members of the board?
Yes.
Okay. Inspector Gonzalez, can you please identify what's been marked as City Exhibit B?
This is the notice of violation.
Okay. And what date did the department first go to this property?
It was on the 16th of March of 22.
Okay. And were you the inspector that first went to the property?
Yes.
Okay. And what date was that notice issued?
3/17/22.
And what was the correct by date on that notice?
I'm sorry,
What was the correct by date on that notice?
the 16th.
Okay. And which violations were issued to the property?
The vacant property standards, the vacant property for maintaining the property. One door that was boarded, which is no longer boarded. And the vacant license. And I think there was construction debris out front or materials.
Okay, and of those violations, which ones have been complied, for the record?
The door and the construction materials are all gone.
Okay. And which remaining violation is at issue?
The vacant license.
Okay. And that would be in violation of code 93905, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And I'd like to turn your attention to what's been marked as City Exhibit C. Can you please identify that for the record?
This is the notice of violation to correct.
Okay, and this was the second notice that the department sent?
Actually, no, this is the same one. It was just sent to the different address,
Okay,
to 323 Milne.
Okay, and so does this notice contain the same information about the date that you first went to the property?
Yes,
Okay, and that date you've previously stated was 3/16/2022, is that correct?
right.
And what date of note of this notice, or what notice date is this?
It was written on the 16th. It was issued on the 17th.
And it has the same correct date, is that
Yes,
correct by date? Okay,
Yeah.
of 4/20/22, is that correct?
right.
Okay, and why does the department send violation notices to multiple addresses?
When we write these violations, these reports, it goes to the research department. And they try to find a better address because sometimes these properties are vacant. We don't want to send the violations to a vacant property. So they go through the system and find a better address to send these violations to.
Okay, and is the 323 Milne Street, is that property address what's listed for the OPA account associated with this property?
Yes,
Okay, and whose responsibility is it to update an address within the OPA account?
the property owner.
Okay. I'd like to just direct your attention to what's been marked as City Exhibit D. Can you please identify what exhibit we are looking at here?
This is a water bill, water usage bill.
Okay, and is this part of the Eclipse record for this property?
Actually, we ended up contacting the water department, find out their last water issue bill at that location.
Okay, so is this a record that's kept by the Department of L&I in the normal course of business when dealing with vacant properties?
Yes.
Okay. And what's the date of this bill?
It's from May 19, 21 to April 16, 21.
And what does the water usage portion of this bill right here show?
No usage.
Okay, and it shows no usage from, you said May
May
2020 to
2020.
May of 2021, is that correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And why is a water bill important for vacant property cases and
There-
investigations that the department performs?
If somebody's living at the property, there should be some water usage. You can't live in a property and not have any water at the property. You need it for drinking water or for cooking or for bathing.
Okay. And you said that this bill was dated May 19th of 2021. Why has a more recent bill not been issued?
For some reason, there was nothing came up in the system for the water department showing that there was any other bill issued because they couldn't find either a meter or no reading.
Okay, and why would that be then?
Either it's been shut off completely or the meter has been removed.
Okay. And I'd like to turn your attention to what's been marked as City Exhibit E. Can you please identify this for the record?
That's the photo I took the first time I went out to the property.
And what was the date?
Violations.
What date was that photo taken?
3/16/22.
Okay. And can you see the original violations in this photograph?
Yes.
Okay. And can you please identify this photograph for the record?
It looks like all the materials were removed. The board was still on the door, but the door does open.
Okay. And finally, can you please identify for the record what's been marked as City Exhibit F?
Yes, that's what the property actually looks like now.
Okay, and how do you know that? Have you been to the property recently?
I did a drive-by on the 21st of March, last Thursday. And the door was open. Somebody was either working in the property, but there was really nothing out there except for the property is still vacant.
Okay, and why is someone doing work at the property not enough to comply a vacant property license violation?
Now, they actually have to be Well, I mean, they supposed to have the water up to date, electric up to date. I mean, and somebody should be living at the property. When you just do work on the property, you just can't say, I'm living there. You know what I mean? To show that you're just walking in and out of the property doesn't make it look like you're actually living there.
Okay, so what would the appellant here, what would he need to do to comply this violation?
Well, he should bring his water bill usage up to date. If he is living there, there should be water usage at the property. Or obtain the vacant license.
Okay, and has that been requested of him? Has the department requested that he bring the water bill to comply this violation?
No, we haven't been able to contact him, so I haven't spoken with him.
Is it in the Eclipse notes is it the Eclipse notes contain notes from different inspectors or that may have discussed the water bill with the?
I think the supervisor spoke with him and did explain to him that he needed to, if he had a water bill, he could send it to her. But of course, something was said and he just hung up.
Okay, and what was that supervisor's name per the Eclipse notes?
Maureen Blaney?
Okay, and so no water bill has been provided to the department at this time?
No.
And if one was provided, would you have complied this violation along with the additional violations that you've already
I would have,
complied?
yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Inspector Gonzalez. No further questions.
Okay, Mr. Cost, do you have any cross-examination questions of Mr. Gonzalez?
No.
Okay, alrighty. Ms. Costello, any
Mr.
additional witnesses?
Mr. Chairman, I have a
Yes.
question.
Yes,
If we can go back to the last picture that was up on the screen. I'm not sure whether this is an extraneous question or not, but Inspector Gonzalez, on this picture in front of us,
Yes.
it appears that there are boards across the window on the first floor, or is that a legal window under the building code?
Well, actually, it's supposed to actually be operable to open up. I mean, if the building unit went out and did an inspection, I don't know if they approved that, but yeah, I mean, before I think the window wasn't there fully, so I mean, he just redid the window over.
So all right.
I don't think
so-
that's wood. I don't think.
And it's not the subject of a current violation notice,
No.
nor is there's a deck, it appears, on the front of the property as well. And that's not the subject of any violation, is it?
Right.
Actually, Board Member Pincus, there are several open violation notices for this property. They're just not on appeal before the board today.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I have a question for the
Yes.
inspector.
yes,
Mr. Gonzalez, you stated that Miss, I think you said her name was Eileen,
Maureen,
Maureen, I'm
Blaney?
sorry.
yes,
And she's from where?
she's my supervisor from the vending unit.
So what did she say to Mr. Cost?
I'm sorry.
What did she say to Mr. Cost?
She had mentioned that if he actually lived at the property, she would like to see a copy of the water bill.
Okay, my question with you would be, did you hear her say that to Mr. Cross, or you just taking what
No,
she
she
told
wrote it.
you?
She wrote it in the comments of the case.
Okay, and I noticed you said you drove by the property the other, I think you said
21st.
March the 21st.
Yes.
Did you take any pictures?
No, I didn't.
Okay, because I'm just curious, is that still debris up on the porch that he was cited for?
That's a grill.
Okay, no more questions, Mr. Chair.
okay. All right, thank you. Okay, Mr. Cost, what would you like to share with us?
I did speak with his supervisor yesterday. It was around 11 a.m. She did speak about the water bill, but I was at court and they called me in, so I had to hang up on her. I told her that I'd call back. She didn't pick up when I called back.
I'm sorry, Chairman Woodson, that was me. That was not the supervisor you spoke to.
Oh, okay, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
Yeah,
Spoke
All
to
right.
somebody, sorry.
right.
Also, the property's not vacant, and all those things that he was saying are just opinions. I don't need any utilities to live at a property. I own the property. I live there the way I want to live there. That's
Okay.
that. And if he came by and the door was open, he could have talked to somebody, which would have probably been me.
Well, Mr. Cost, just in terms of, and of course, your choice is your choice, but how do you handle the need for potable, clean water and sanitation?
My neighbors. And
Okay.
electric bill is current. The only thing that, well, I don't have gas there. Nothing in the property is gas operated. Everything is electric. And yeah, so the electric bill is current, and the water, I have issues with the water that I just have to take care of.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Anything else you want to add?
I don't know why they're saying it's vacant. I've lived there 6 years. Except for the OPA, which I'll get on top of that. With changing that, all of my stuff has 2531. My passport ID, voter registration, my driver's license, real ID.
No, we aren't even discussing that at the moment, sir. The issue now is whether or not to provide the compliance with the outstanding violation. That's the one we're dealing with.
Yeah, they're saying that it's vacant, but it's not. And he's saying that it's vacant because of a water bill, which is irrelevant. If I live there, I live there, which I live there.
Okay. All right. That's your testimony. All right. Thank you. Anything else you want to add or any other proof that you have?
If you want to do an investigation, do it properly. Come there call me, and I could give them a walkthrough. I live there. My food is in there. My bedding, clothing, everything. All of my stuff is there.
Okay.
Sure.
I would ask another follow-up question, if I may, Ms. Costello, to Mr. Gonzalez. And
Yeah,
if
sure.
let me know, sir, if you're the person to answer this. If a dwelling, whether it be single family or otherwise, does not have actual water service, is that a grounds for uninhabitability?
Yes,
And is that a violation that you would write or some other code inspector would write?
we would write that.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Costello, my apologies for cutting you off.
Oh, thank you, Chairman Woodson. I just had a few final comments to make.
Yes, please.
Chairman Woodson, members of the board, if Mr. Cost had called the department at any time to re-inspect the property and comply the violations as stated on the violation notice that he received, the department would have come out and done that. The department went on their own prior to this hearing, in preparation of the hearing, went out and was able to comply 4 of the 5 violations provided. Mr. Cost has been asked several times for anything that would indicate that he actually lives at the property. He's made statements that all of his documents are connected somehow to this property, and yet has not brought a single document to the hearing today. I think the testimony of Inspector Gonzalez, where he stated it's not enough to be coming in and out of the property doing work on the inside, to prove that that is your primary residence and that the property is not vacant. So I would just ask for a city affirm.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you very much. Okay, if there's nothing else, we will poll the
Mr.
board.
Chair,
Yes.
There is something else.
can we take a brief
Oh, wait,
executive?
yeah, before we do that, Mr. Cost, I asked earlier, do you have something else you want to share?
I was talking about, to speak on what she just said. I wasn't even contacted by anybody from any of the departments regarding this violation until yesterday morning. And they for a water bill, that was it. And she said that was her. And as far as my documentation, I didn't know I need that, but I have my driver's license right here that says 2531.
Okay.
The other I can bring them down there today.
Okay.
I didn't know.
Chairman Woodson, I would just state every single violation notice, which he has said he received from a neighbor 30 days before the date that would fall within his appeal rights, which is why we're hearing this case today, states, please contact this inspector in order to correct the violations. That could have been done at any time. This appeal was filed a year ago.
All right, thank you very much. Wait, Mr. Cost, look, we've been everyone has a turn. I've asked for orderly testimony. You've shared with us your understanding of what's going on. So we're going to take an executive session and come back and vote on this matter. Okay?
So when somebody speaks, I can't speak on what they just.
No, we're not going to have a back and forth. Back and forth is not working in this matter. You get a chance to present your case. She presents her case. We have final argument, then we vote. That's
Why
how
did
it
you?
works.
I don't understand.
Okay, we'll come back and we're going to go in executive session and come back. Okay, we're back on the record on 001-441-2531 North Colorado Street. I'm prepared to call the vote. Mr. Cost, you had a final comment to make before we vote?
No, I did not.
Okay, all righty. We will poll the board then on HA-2023-001-441-2531 North Colorado Street, Harold Cost, City of Fern.
My apologies. City affirmed. I was muted.
City affirmed.
City affirmed.
Okay, Mr. Cost, the vote is city affirmed, which means you lost your appeal. Now you can appeal our decision, and if you need information as to how to do that, the decision letter that you receive will have the number for the administrator, and you can call that office, and they will give you information how to appeal a decision of the board. Thank you very much, sir.
Where that go to 2531?
That will be mailed to your mailing address, 2531 North Colorado Street.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Have a good day. Okay, Mr. Wade, what do we have next? The witnesses in this matter excuse me. I'm sorry, Ms. Costello, I didn't say that earlier.
Chairman Whitson, I'd just like to enter my exhibits into the record.
Yes, so noted, and they will be admitted as submitted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Case number 40, hearing appeal, ending 1485, 5226 Osage Avenue. Richard Good.
Okay, who's handling that matter?
Chairman Whitson, Board Member
Just
Mary
real
Costello.
quick. Sorry about that, Ms. Costello.
It's okay.
Mr. Chair, this real quick.
Yes.
I see that Mr. Sears on
Yes.
the line.
There may be, we have one more after that. We may have another matter.
No, I mean, his case was decided.
Okay. Now, just before we begin, I advise everyone to do that. But Mr. Sears, do you know that your matter has been decided already? You're muted, sir. You're muted. We can't hear you because you're muted. Can you unmute? Mr. Wade, can you unmute him?
That's the sound of the prompt.
Yeah, okay. Mr.
Hear me
Sears, do you know your matter has been
now?
decided already?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now. Mr. Sears, do you know that we've decided your case
Hello?
already? Yes, do you hear us?
You seem to have trouble here. If you can hear me. No, I wasn't aware that my case had been decided.
Yes, early on in the hearing, your case was listed as moot, which means it's resolved for today. So you can excuse, you can go.
I'm unmuted, yes.
Yeah, so your case is moot, which means that it's resolved for today. You are permitted to go on about your business.
Say that again, sir.
Your case was recorded as moot, which means it's the matter has been resolved. Let's do this. Mr. Wade, would you mind calling him, please, so we can move on with the other
In
matter?
what respect?
Someone will call you on the phone and talk to you about it, okay? Because we have some other cases we need to hear. Just hold on, somebody will call you. Okay. So, Ms. Costello?
Yes, Chairman Whitson, I represent the city for the matter 5226 Osage Avenue.
Okay. Now, in terms, we did get a request in executive session for requests for an in-person hearing. Were you aware of that request?
The appeal was honored.
Mr. Good, somebody will call you. So, Mr. Wade, if you
I just had some, board's administration will reach out to him momentarily.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Chairman Whitson, are you speaking? I can't.
You're muted, sir.
I'm muted. My apologies. Ms. Costello, in executive session, we did receive a request for in-person hearing. Are you aware of that request?
I was not aware of that request, Chairman Whitson.
Okay. The board will formally respond to the request for an executive session, in-person hearing. Are you aware of any reason why we shouldn't grant that request?
I'm not, Chairman
Okay.
Woodson.
For today's hearing, then, for the record, we will note it as continued, and as the board is preparing a response to that formal request.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes,
all right.
thank you.
All righty, Mr. Wade, what do we have next?
Final matter, case number 41. Appeal ending 1499, 1514 North Allison Street. Adrian Brand.
Okay. Anyone present? Ms. Costello, is that yours?
It's mine as well, Chairman
Okay.
Woodson, yes.
Okay, Adrian Brown. Ms. Brown. 1514 North Allison Street. Anyone present? 1514 North Allison Street. Anyone present? Okay, Ms. Costello, noted by Mr. Wade that service was made. What's your preference?
I would ask for a city affirm for failure to appear.
Okay, Mr. Pincus, what time do you have?
2:40 PM.
2:40 PM. We will call the board vote on HA 2023-001-499-1514 North Allison Street, Adrian Brown, ADRIENNE Brown, BROWN. CD affirmed, non-appearance.
City affirmed non-appearance.
City affirmed non-appearance.
City affirmed non-appearance.
Thank you very much. I think that resolves that matter, Ms. Costello. Mr. Wade, do we have any other matters before the board today?
No, we did not.
Okay, thank you everyone for your participation and your patience as we work through this long list. Please enjoy your holidays. Mr. Kelly, we're off the record. Thank you.